guys, it's Sarah, and today I am going to be making a page for my Boston and Savannah album using a page kit that I pulled. And today we are going to be in Boston. We're doing the Union Oyster House, which is a place where my husband and I had lunch the weekend that we were there. And it was a great experience, so definitely wanted to make sure we documented this. I have a couple of pictures that I printed out in 3x4 size because I have 3 different pictures, and I wanted to make sure they were small enough so they could all easily get on there. And then I do have, some pamphlets and stuff that I kept from the restaurant so that I want to include a little bit from there as well. So I wanted to make sure I had room for all that. So my pictures, like I said, I have a picture here of a lobster in one of the displays that they had, and it was the biggest lobster I've ever seen in my life. It was so big. And then a picture of my lobster roll that I ordered for lunch, and it was the best thing I've ever had. It was so good. And then I do have a picture of the outside of the restaurant from the street. That is a different orientation. So those two are horizontal. This one is vertical. So I'm going to have them, in different areas on the layout. So I have this Amy Tangerine paper here that is very old. I think it's from 2012, the orange grid, and that's going to be my background. And then I do have some yellow paper here that I pulled as well that has yellow and orange in it, and I'm going to do like a large mat around my photos as well. So I have the orange cardstock directly behind them, and then this paper here is going to be my mat. Now I'm going to do some inking. However, I try with my blender. This is the closest thing to orange that I had, but it's not showing up all that great. Like it's really just not, it's too late. So I just take the ink pad and I go directly from the ink pad to the paper instead of using the blending tool, and that helped. It gave it a bit of a darker edge there, which is what I was looking for. And so I'm just going to do this on these pieces here. So I'm going to have them in 2 different areas, like I said, so I need something to ground them. So I'm going to use this wood grain paper here that is just a scrap from my stash, and that will be along here on the bottom. And then I'm going to use this piece of paper here also from my stash. It's a darker shade of orange here, and I'm going to just I cut it in half so that it looks like it goes directly behind the photo, even though it's 2 different pieces. Now this was my placemat actually at the restaurant, and I was careful not to get anything on it because I wanted to take it home with me because it's just so cool. And it has this little map of the Freedom Trail, and it shows where the restaurant is on the Freedom Trail. So that was really cool. So I cut that out from that there. And when we left the restaurant, I just folded it up and put it in my purse. So it was really cool. And so I'm going to put that down here on the bottom. And then everything else that I pulled, I'm just trying to cut apart and make it work. This little clipboard here is something I cut out, I think, from a piece of pattern paper, and it's got yellow polka dots. So I'm going to use this for my journaling. And I had made myself a note that I wanted to put some white cardstock on top of the polka dots so that you could read the journaling better. Because if I journal directly on that, it would kind of blend in a little bit too much. So I'm just going through all of these things that I cut up to try to use here and see what's going to work. I try to use that Here's the Story, but it's just too big. So I end up scrapping that one. But I'm going to use that. I'm going to use this. I'm going to use this label. I'm just trying to see where it is. I want to put everything before I start sticking too much down. But I do like this up here, so I'm going to go ahead and put these 2 pieces of paper down to house that, and then I will put my photos back on top. It's nice to have that grid because it helps me line things up evenly. Now I put this down, but I'm going to actually pull it up here in a second because it's over a little bit too far, because I realize that I need to put my title somewhere and I didn't have enough room for the big title I'm going to use. So I just had to shift these things over a little bit, and I'll realize that here in just a second. I'm going to use this little ampersand. I cut off the other half of that tag because it was pink, and that definitely doesn't go here, so I just cut it out so that it's just the orange. And I think this is where I'm realizing I need to move everything over a little bit. And it's not too bad, shifting everything. I just need this over and this over. So it's okay. It's not too bad, guys. Everything's fine. I'm able to get that adhesive off, no problem. So here's where I want to make sure my title's going to fit before I start putting that stuff back down. So I'm going to go ahead and spell out my title. I'm going to use some saran wrap just to put my title down, and it's going to be Union Oyster House. And these are some corrugated thickers, like corrugated cardboard almost, and they're orange. So I just wanted to make sure everything was going to fit before I added these back down here. I'm going to be very careful about putting my adhesive on this because that is a pretty thin paper, but it goes on very nicely. And then my title will go nicely right there as well. So now this little cut here is a card that I got from in a Creative Bubble, and she has some she has like a Boston specific Project Life cards and like 3x4 cards and 4x6 cards. So this is from that set. I will try to link that in the description, but it's a super cute set. And so I purchased that set when I knew that I was going to do this album. So I have some options to use in my album. And this one is like a journaling card, but it had that little lobster and it says fresh seafood. And so I just punched it out with my circle punch, and I'm going to use that as a piece for an embellishment. And then on the rest of the card, I'm going to do my journaling. And I went ahead and outlined it in black pen so that there's a definitive line, because I'm going to be putting it on top of that polka dot clipboard paper. So there's my journaling. And I'm going to go ahead and get my title down. I do need to use some quick dry adhesive on the back of these because they are not very sticky at all. In fact, some of them even came off some of the sticky part came off on the packaging. So those definitely needed adhesive to keep them on the page. So this I'm going to put right over top and kind of cover up that very awkward triangle. I'm using some leftover thickers that I have to put dimension on there. That's I'm using some older thicker packages that are foam thickers that I cannot make any words out of anymore. I'm using that as foam adhesive now until they're gone. So, and I put that label down there, the little circle that says yay. I have another little arrow that I don't know what that says. And then this one here says local favorite. So I'm going to put that there on the label. That is a little Brad, and it just has like an orange pattern on it. And then I'm going to use those enamel dots, but I did want to do a geotag, and I knew I had a gold geotag in here, so I just grabbed that from my die cuts real quick, and I'm going to use that right there. So saying we were here. Then I'm going to use some stamps here. These are from Clearly Kelly, and I am going to do a couple things here. I'm going to do a Bon Appetit, and then one that says, I think it says #delicious. So the Bon Appetit I'm going to do right over top of my title here, and I am using my VersaFine ink in Onyx Black, which is my go-to ink. That's pretty much all I use when I'm stamping. So. And then I'm also going to do this one that says #delicious, and I'm going to do that underneath right here. And then I'm going to put down these enamel dots here in a couple different areas. And then that's going to complete my layout, you guys. So I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know if you guys have any questions, and I'm going to be having some more of these page kits coming up for you here very soon. Hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you guys again later. Bye.